Buon pomeriggio. Today we're going to be making something quite fun and simple. All you need is three ingredients: some milk, salt, and the juice from 4 lemons in my case. I'm going to be making ricotta, and ricotta, you might not know what it actually really means. It stands for recooked, and it's a sub-product of the cheese. So in order to make ricotta, we need to make some cheese first. So what I'll be doing, I will be using 4 pints of milk to make some cheese, and that is going to be called Primosale. And also, once I've made some Primosale, I will be using the Whey to make the ricotta. So I'll pour my first 4 pints in a stainless steel container. Make sure that you use stainless steel container if you make it at home. I'll turn that on a fairly high heat as I want it to get to the boil, and this is actually something that is quite fun to make. You could most probably make it with your children, and it is quite interesting and entertaining, and you will see that if you were to make it with your children, they will learn also some of the principles on how to cook. Isn't that wonderful? Ricotta is a very popular cheese in Sicily, and by adding sugar, for example, they make cannoli in Sicily, which is the long tubes you might have seen, but also is one of those ingredients that is used in a lot of cakes, and clearly in Italy is also used widely for food preparation. You will find ricotta in pasta, spinach ricotta, for example, tortellini or even ravioli. So it's actually a fairly healthy cheese in terms of as far as cheese go. I'll start stirring it to make sure that it doesn't get attached to the bottom of the saucepan, and milk can be a little bit tricky, so do keep an eye on it, especially whilst it's on a high temperature. I will be using the juice from 4 lemons, 4 small lemons or 3 large lemons. Half will be for the Primosale, for the cheese, and half will be for the ricotta. Make sure that you remove the pips, and also make sure you remove the bits that come with the lemon. I actually made myself a cup of tea with them, a lemon tea. Make sure that you do stir it, otherwise the milk will get stuck to the bottom. It's beginning to warm up, so I'm going to add a couple of small teaspoons of salt, and salt to taste really, and the 2 of these is the equivalent of a teaspoon. This is quite stress-free. Just take your time, relax, and enjoy watching the milk turning into something magic. As you can see, the milk is beginning to bubble a little, so I think it's the right time to start adding the lemon, and I will be putting half of this glass, approximately half. Don't get too stressed if it's not exact, that will be fine. As you can see, as soon as the lemon has gone into the milk, it starts separating and create some curds, and this is because the acidity of the lemon is effectively making the milk go off. Not different to when milk goes off in the fridge. Clearly, I'm not suggesting you make cheese when milk goes off, but this is what we're doing. We are making the milk very acidy. Keep stirring until it reaches the boil. You can stop at times as well. You might be wondering if you're going to be tasting the lemon once the cheese has been made. I can guarantee you there will not be any taste from the lemon. It will be just like normal cheese. So the milk is now coming to the boil, and as you can see, it has got a greeny color underneath. What I'm going to do, I'm going to switch it off, and I will let it rest for 10 minutes before we will go to the next phase. It's rested for 10 minutes, and clearly the whey separated from the cheese, and we're going to strain it now. I've got a little strainer here, a smaller pot, and yesterday I bought some dishcloths which I cut in half to strain it. Very handy. So I'm going to try and remove the liquid first, so that it doesn't clog the dishcloth, and I'll try and leave the cheese for last. As you can see, the color of the whey is green. That is the process has undergone with the addition of the lemon. Ensure you take your time and you don't burn yourself. And that is the last of the cheese. Ignore the noise in the background, my wife is making a cup of tea. So we'll now let it rest for a couple of minutes. In the meantime, I will pour the whey in the pot ready for the ricotta. There's no need to clean the pot as we're still going to be making cheese. In short, it is as drained as it can be. There will always be some whey coming out eventually, but it's good to start with as much cheese as possible. I think that is pretty good. I'm going to pour this here, and I'm going to put my Primosale cheese in this glass bowl. I'll press it down to try and give it a bit of a shape. I've had a wonderful idea. I decided to add some chopped olives to the Primosale and also some chili flakes. This is a very typical thing they do in Sicily with Primosale. You can have it in different flavors, but this is one of our favorite. So I'm going to mix it in again. And I'll compact it down. I'll be covering it all up and leave it to rest. So off we go again. The whey from the Primosale is back on the hob, and I'm going to add another 4 pints of whole milk. Use whole milk for this. It's going to be much creamier and will give you a better result. I can add the lemon straight away as the whey is already acidy anyhow, so I don't have to wait until later. And again, just like I did first time round, a couple of spoons or teaspoons, the equivalent of 1 teaspoon of salt. And we wait. So we have followed exactly the same process we did with the Primosale, and as you can see, the milk has come to the boil, and we have achieved ricotta. And I will let it simmer, well, I'll let it cook for a little bit longer, and then I will be turning it off, and I will be following exactly the same process we did before. You can see it's bubbling a little over there. Ensure that you don't walk away, because if the milk comes out, it's a disaster, it goes everywhere. It's quite therapeutic. Well, maybe if you're as sad as I am. The smell reminds me when I was a little boy, and early in the morning my dad used to take us to eat ricotta, freshly made, hot, and the shepherd, and there is that very typical smell of the cheese. Right, I've turned it off before it overflows, nearly did. And we're going to be following the same process just like we did with the Primosale. I've got a rice cooker here, and that's the best thing I could find within my cupboards. It's got little holes at the bottom, which is ideal to drain the ricotta once it's been made. But we will do exactly the same, and we'll use the same cloth I did before. As you can see, the liquid is even greener than it was first time round. Very gently, make sure you take your time. Again, very therapeutic. And job done. I have managed to make 700 grams of ricotta, which is roughly the equivalent of 3 ricotta pots you buy from the supermarket. It's still draining inside the container, my rice cooker, and it will continue releasing some whey for a little while, but we are no rush. Also, I've transferred the Primosale cheese in a prettier container. It will take a few hours before it sets, so I'm going to be putting a cover and leave it in the fridge overnight before it's be ready tomorrow. That is approximately 250 grams, so 250 grams of Primosale cheese, 700 grams of ricotta, approximately 1 kilo worth of cheese from 4 liters of milk. Cost wise, I spent about £3 in money, which is the cost of the milk, and maybe, I don't know, 40-50p in lemons. So it's not bad, bearing in mind that you've made it, it's fun, and also it's quite genuine because there are no additives. This will stay in the fridge, the cheese will stay in the fridge for 3 to 4 days. Ricotta the same, but in my case it disappears overnight, so by tomorrow, especially as my daughter is coming for Christmas, it will all be gone, I'm sure. Okay, great. Well, it's been a pleasure, it's fun as always, and I hope you enjoy making it. Try it with your kids. It's just a fun thing to do together, and I think I like the idea that children start cooking from a very young age. Thank you very much. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe to my channel. It will help me grow it and accelerate it, and hopefully reaching more people. Ciao ciao for now, and see you later. Bye.